In this week's episode of Sword Art Online 2, Kirito finally enters Gun Gale Online and gets to learn the finer points of the game thanks to his brand new friend and guide Sinon, who also happens to be the main female lead of the series. Not only that, but in this week's episode we get to learn that Kirito is strong with the Force, cause the dude gets a friggin' lightsaber! One of the things that I found really funny about this week's episode is when Kirito first goes into Gun Gale Online for the first time, we get to see his avatar, and the intro of the show definitely gave it away that he's going to have a somewhat female-looking appearance, and I originally thought that he was just going to be straight up a female character in this season, but apparently the avatar that he's using is just a very effeminate-looking male, and it's very rare, so rare in fact, that a lot of the players are willing to trade up rare items and just purchase his account outright. But Kirito is not going to do this, and it's really funny because, in a way, the tables have been turned on Kirito, because in the first season of SAO, Kirito was a chick magnet. If there was a female within his vicinity, they were like immediately attracted to this guy, even if it was his cousin. But that's a story for another day. But now that Kirito looks like a girl, the only thing he's going to be seeing is a lot of dong. Conveniently, Kirito runs into Sinon this week, and she gives him a crash course in everything Gun Gale Online. And what's really great about all of this so far is that Sinon actually believes that he is a female, and Kirito's just sort of going along with this. And we get to see that she is incredibly knowledgeable about every single weapon in the game. And again, this is just completely contrasting with her real-life character, where she's incredibly fearful of guns, whereas in Gun Gale Online, she knows everything. In fact, what I really like is that there's two different types of weapons in the game. There are these like energy-based, like sci-fi weapons, kind of like the type of stuff you'll see in Star Wars, and then you have realistic weapons which shoot actual bullets. They all are based on real-life weapons. They look the same, they have the same names, everything. So there's a lot of attention to detail. So gun nuts are probably really going to love this show. But what I love most is that Kirito decides to go with a melee weapon, which is basically this like photon beam, or beam saber, or laser sword. Let's face it guys, it's a friggin' lightsaber and it even makes the same sound effect. And I'm not gonna lie, I think it's really strange and surreal just seeing that, because I didn't expect that they would get away with using that same sound effect. I thought they might do something like they do in the Gundam shows, because they have those big beam sabers, and they have like their own distinctive sound. But no, in this episode, Kirito gets Mace Windu's lightsaber, and that's pretty badass. Kirito is able to get all of these weapons because he competes in this little mini-game in Gun Gale Online where they go up against this robotic cowboy, and this is where you get to learn a little bit more about the basics of the game, where you can actually like see a bullet line where someone is going to fire at you, and this gives you like just a split second to try and dodge that. And the point of this game is you're supposed to run up to this cowboy who has this revolver, who's shooting you constantly, and a few guys try it, they lose. Kirito gets in there and knocks it out in one try and wins like $300,000. The episode ends with a little bit of intrigue with Kirito and Sinon leaving on this buggy and this really nice action scene where also we get to find out that Kirito used to play racing games. Apparently he's like the gaming master. I don't think he's anything compared to Captain N, but he's still pretty badass. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Sword Art Online 2? I really loved it, and that's kind of biased because I'm a huge fan of the series at this point, but the fact that I don't read the light novels, or like if there's like a manga version of it, maybe that is what the manga version is, I don't know what's coming. All of this is brand new to me, so I'm just absorbing it all in and I'm really enjoying it. Something that I did think was kind of surprising in the last scene when they're riding on that buggy, when Kirito starts to go a little crazy on the throttle, Sinon actually wraps her arms around him and she can't tell that he has breastises? That's strange. Well, whatever. I'm sure she's going to find out eventually, and I'm not sure it's really even going to be that big of a deal to her. But Sinon, she's a great female character. She has a fantastically distinctive design as well. I just love her turquoise hair. I don't know why, but it really pops in every single scene that she appears in. Kirito himself being a female, that is just, well, he's not a female. He just looks like a chick. Dude looks like a lady. But I just think it's really funny because, like I said, in the first season, every woman would fall in love with him, and he wouldn't even try anything. He didn't even, like, do anything crazy. Just, that's the way it was. And now you've got all these dudes who are constantly hitting on him, and that's going to change another dynamic of the show that I didn't really care for too much, and that's just seeing all of these girls just always fall in love with Kirito. But it looks like they're going to be changing it up with this, and of course you got the whole death gun angle, and then there's this big competition coming up, which is the BOB, which is what Kirito's trying to get involved in, and Sinon is involved as well, so they might actually be going up against each other, and I'm guessing this is probably when she's going to figure out that he's actually a dude. Otherwise, pretty decent episode. Animation and artwork was pretty consistent throughout the episode. Nothing too crazy or bombastic quite yet, and I can't imagine that probably is disappointing some of the fans of the first season, because those action scenes were crazy, and they involved melee weapons, and there's a lot of build-up here, but I'm just going to accept it for what it is. But the actual world of Gun Gale Online still looks really awesome. When they showed like the big dystopian future cyberpunk city for the first time, it looked great, and it looks really awesome, and it's completely different from the stuff we saw in the last season, and that makes everything seem really, really fresh here. The only thing that I'm really concerned about is, obviously, Sinon's not going to be in the game the entire time. She actually has, like, something going on outside, and probably Kirito's probably going to have to leave the game every once in a while. So there are going to be some breaks where they're going to have to go into the real world, and I wonder if Kirito's actually going to try and meet Sinon in the real world, because obviously she's going to get involved with this whole death gun thing, and, you know, that could add just a whole new layer to that. That's something, too, that we need to realize. It's not the first season of Sword Art Online anymore. People are not stuck in a game. There are other things at stake now, and they can do things differently. But there it is. I liked this episode quite a bit. It moved a little slow in some parts, and they could have expanded a little bit more and maybe give us another action scene. But otherwise, I think this was a really solid episode that is explaining a lot of things about Gun Gale Online and giving us a great preview of things to come. And just Kirito looking like a chick is absolutely hilarious. Plus, did I mention the lightsaber? The lightsaber kicks so much ass. This week's episode is an 8 out of 10. Check it out, guys. Really good stuff, especially if you're a fan of the series. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out our videos a lot. And please tell me what you guys thought about this week's episode of Sword Art Online 2. Do you think Sinon is going to find out that Kirito is a guy pretty soon, or do you think it's actually something they're going to save for the end of the season? Remember, guys, you can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for those in the description box below. And if you haven't already, make sure and subscribe to the channel so you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.